Welcome to the Women in Localization Fireside Chat, a new series of interviews where we discuss relevant topics in our industry. My name is Sylvia Avery. I'm a co-founder and a board member of Women in Localization, and today I'll be your host. Our first guest is Chiara Fornasero. Chiara has a background in translation and interpreting from Geneva and Westminster's universities. She has worked for a startup in the airline business and at Yahoo. She is currently leading a team of localizers at WhatsApp. Chiara is also the chapter manager for the Women in Localization Silicon Valley chapter. Chiara, welcome to our Fireside Chat. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's start. Before we dive into your new role with Women in Localization chapter, I would like to ask you some questions and learn a little bit more about you and your career. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So my first question will be, how did you get started in the localization industry?
So I started in the localization industry when I moved to the US in 2013. Initially, I was working as a translator and interpreter, and then I found some really interesting opportunities working as a linguistic QA tester for high-tech companies. I decided to apply, and that's how really I got started in the industry. I was doing mostly linguistic QA work through a vendor on site in a tech company here in the Silicon Valley.
All right, so you have experience working in the vendor side and the client side. Can you share with us some of the similarities and differences?
Mm-hmm. So I think that working with a localization vendor really helped me, and working with a localization vendor early in my career helped me really learn the basics and really manage to nail them, understand what are the things that are really important to your clients, understand how to be detail-oriented, how to communicate with your coworkers as well as your stakeholders. Some things that I also learned are how to really work on customer support and customer success. In the end, even when you work on the client side, that's a great transferable skill because you always have clients that you work with. It might be your internal stakeholders, it might be partners that you work with. So those are transferable skills that I got from working on the vendor side.
That's very good.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that. Chiara, you have been very successful in your career. You're advancing quite fast.
Thank you.
Can you give some advice to others in how to advance in their careers in our industry?
Yes, I think one of the things that have been very helpful for me is to not be afraid to take some risks and push myself to go a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming and it can be challenging, but in my experience it's always been very rewarding. So one advice that I would have is believe in yourself, be confident in your skills and in your knowledge and understanding of the industry, and then be okay with taking some risks, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at the beginning. Oftentimes when you start doing the job or you start taking a new different opportunity, you start really seeing the path of how to move forward. And it might come just by solving one challenge at a time, solving one little problem at a time, finding the solution, and then moving forward from there. So that's something that has definitely been helpful for me. Something else that I would mention is to not be afraid to ask for help. I think that's really important. It's not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of maturity and the fact that you know and understand what your gaps are and where you might need to consult with somebody else or get somebody else to share their own expertise with you. So I would recommend everyone to be a little vulnerable and really ask for help when they need it. Be very specific in the type of help that you need and just be open to receive that kind of mentorship, coaching, and feedback. And then the last thing that has helped me, although it's been challenging sometimes, it's to be patient. Sometimes it takes it takes time for things to really unfold and develop the way you would like. There could be challenges in the middle, there could be some obstacles. I think the most important thing is to be focused on your vision, have a clear vision, focus on your final goal, and really believe in it. And then be patient and understand that sometimes it could take a little turns, it could take a little more time, but you're gonna get there.
Well, I would say be patient is great advice for career and life.
That's true.
Sure. But just so I summarize what you said to our viewers, you said 3 important things. Number 1 is to not be afraid of getting out of your comfort zone, so take risks, right? Number 2 is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Correct, yes.
So get up there, go with your network.
Absolutely.
And the final one that is great for everyone is like be patient.
Yes.
So really, really good.
Yeah.
So I want to change gears a little bit and go back to women in localization and your new role.
Great.
So, just let's dive in there a little bit because you were volunteering with women in localization under the helm of Michelle Carlson for a few years, and now you are the leader of that chapter. So can you tell us about, well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you
for taking that role. I think it's amazing. And tell us, how does it feel?
It's been a great experience. So far, I've had a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, and it's been really amazing to be able to work with so many inspiring people. The one word that I would use to describe my experience so far is inspiring. Working with so many talented people, seeing so many people being willing to commit their time and energy for the community, and then seeing people participate and appreciate our events has been truly inspiring for me, our members.
That's wonderful. It seems like you're prepared, have a great team.
Yes.
And definitely. I went to the row of data in the localization.
Yes.
And I also went to the membership one.
Yeah.
So both great events. What are the other ones that are coming?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming to our events.
Thank you.
I remember you asked some good questions, and thank you for being one of our mentors.
It's my pleasure.
It's really great to be able to have mentors with experience in the industry that can share that expertise. Other events that we have planned for this year include lightning talks. We have this upcoming event on September 10th at Verizon Media, which used to be called Yahoo. And it's one of our most popular events. We've done it for 2 or 3 years now, and we see that our members really like participating to it.
I've been to a lightning talk, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
But can you tell a little bit for those that are watching what it entails?
Yeah.
I think it's a great concept.
Yes, I agree. It's a great format. The lightning talks are usually very short talks, about 6 minutes long, about one specific topic. A speaker comes on stage and shares knowledge, expertise on a topic or area of focus that they feel they are an expert in, or they can contribute to sharing the knowledge with the rest of the members. And it's a great way for people to really learn how to speak in public without being overwhelmed by it. It's a relatively short time. A lot of people who might normally struggle a little bit with public speaking usually feel okay with lightning talks because after all, it's just 6 minutes. So it's a little less intimidating. And the other aspect that I think it's great for people who participate in lightning talks is that it's a great way to get visibility, share your experience, share your knowledge, and also have people come back to you and ask questions. It really helps you make connections, get to know somebody else in the industry who might be facing similar challenges, and learn from one another.
That is true, and it's a great way to have people get out of their comfort zone. Like you mentioned, it's one of the things that people should do.
Yes.
Chiara, what are some of the challenges in the localization industry at the moment, and how do you think we're solving for them?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest challenges that I've noticed is finding the right talent. The localization industry is growing. There's always more and more job opportunities, but we're also looking for new types of specializations and new types of skills. And I feel at times it can be difficult to find the right talent exactly for the position you're looking for. One way that I think within the industry we're already starting to bridge the gap is by working more closely with academia. There's
Right.
a lot of programs working, for example, with the Monterey Institute in Monterey that I think are really helping preparing the new generation of localization professionals for the challenges of the work and the jobs that they're going to take in the future.
Yeah, that's very true. And since we're talking about this, like the challenges, and you mentioned finding people, what are some of the soft and hard skills that you look in people when you're hiring?
Mm-hmm. So when I'm hiring someone on my team, regardless of their role, one of the things that I feel is really important for them to one of the skills that it's important for them to have is resilience to change. I think it's very important for people not only to be able to get through change, but really embrace it and see the opportunity that change can bring. In our work life as well as in our private lives, change is a constant, and it's important for people to really learn to embrace that and see opportunity in it and learn from it rather than being scared or overwhelmed by it. So that's definitely a skill that I look for in candidates that apply to our roles.
It's very good. So that was one soft skill. In terms of hard skills, besides our usual suspects that we look for people in the localization industry, what are some of the known, so obvious ones that you look for?
I would say maybe somebody who really knows how to deal with data, who has a pretty good understanding of what it means to collect data, what type of data is meaningful, how to visualize it in a way that really helps you build a case or helps you solve for problems. That's something that I think is becoming more and more important in the localization industry, and it's the type of hard skill that it's becoming almost a requirement for a lot of the profiles we look for.
Well, that is true. In fact, you guys just had an event.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. It was very good, localization in data, and it seems really to be a topic that everyone is discussing now.
Yes, I
so
agree.
that's a very good skill to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Chiara, I have one last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How has volunteering with women localization been helping your career?
So I think that one of the greatest things about volunteering with women in localization has been just the amount of people that I got to meet. It's been great to get to meet people from different industries, with different roles, and really get to connect with them on a more personal level and get to learn a lot from their own experience. That's definitely one of the biggest takeaways. The other aspect that I would say has been important in growing my career has been leadership skills. By volunteering in an organization, you have to take initiative. You have to put yourself out there. You have to do public speaking and be on stage. And that's all part of skills. It's all part of skills that would really help you when you want to be a leader and really help growing as a leader regardless of what role you might have. The last thing that I would say is it's been helpful for me to see other women leading the organization or having leading roles within the industry. They are role models to me, and they've inspired me to become a role model for others and just try to give that same knowledge and expertise that I learned from them, trying to give it back to the community.
It's very nice. Chiara, it's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Same
you so
here.
much for your time.
Thank you so much, Silvia. It's been a pleasure to have this fireside chat with you.
Thank you. Until next time.